Today we're going to cut out a pattern. And this sounds very simple, but a lot of people do have a hard time doing this or do it incorrectly. So we're going to learn the proper way to put on a pattern. The first thing I want to do when laying out a pattern is look for the grain line, which is this right here. And this grain line needs to be parallel to the salvage of the fabric. I have the fabric doubled. This is the fold side, and this is the salvage side. Now I'm going to take my measuring tape, and I'm going to stick a pin in the very tip top of that corner. And I'm going to measure how far out we are to the salvage. And the end of the salvage right here is at 7 3/8. I want the bottom of the arrow at an equal distance. If it's here, I know that's at almost 8 inches. I know it's off. I want it at 7 3/8, so I'm going to scoot it over until I hit 7 3/8. Just so. Then I can take my pin and pin that in place. Now I know the entire garment is on the straight of grain. When I put in my pins, I'm putting my pins in on the side of the fabric, just like this, so it's nice and sturdy. I'm going to put those all the way around. As you can see, I've placed my pins all the way around. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut on whatever size you need. This is the 18 months for my little Reese cup. I'm just going to slice that. The bigger, the broader the strokes you can do, the better. So, okay, now let's focus on these little triangles right here. These triangles are sew guides. They help us know what sews together. 1, 2, 3. I know that 3 sides is the center back. I know that 1, 2 is the front. And that's going to help me know which pieces need sewn to each other. So all I'm going to do is take my scissor, put it in the very tip, and give a little snip. I don't have to cut those triangles out. I'm just going to snip to the center of the triangle, and that's going to let me know where I need to sew. I'm going to make sure I do that all the way around the garment. Clipped all my little triangles, and now I need to mark where my waistline is because it hasn't marked right here. That might be information I need. So what I'm going to do is just stick this little pin in here, and I'm going to make sure I go through both layers of fabric. And I'm going to take a couple pins out so I can get to it, and I'm going to take my chalk or my pen, whatever you're marking with, and just make a little slash there on the back where you can see your pin. Just do a little slash there so I know where it is. That I would do the same thing to a dot. If there was a dot I need to mark, I would stab the pin all the way through, lean it over, mark it on this side, mark it on that side. Okay, now we're going to take a look at something that has a center fold on it. And as you can see, that line right there is your grain line again. But what that line means is place on the center fold. And right here it has the words center fold. So what we need to do is make a fold for this. As you can see, this fabric is actually folded in half. Okay? With the salvages touching. But I've already done some trim work, cut some things out of here. So I need to make this fit this particular piece of garment. So I'm actually going to roll this over. And my top, I've already ripped, and you can go back and look at the preparing video. So I know that it's even. So as long as I keep that top even, my sides should be fine. So you can see I just folded that enough to be able to get this pattern actually in there. And it doesn't matter that the pattern is upside down. It's still going to be fine. I'm still going to follow all the marks. I'm going to do just as I did before. I'm going to, this time, I don't have to measure my grain line though, because this line, the center fold, is my grain line. So I just put it on the fold, making sure the top's all lined up, and I stick in my pins. I'm going to go back and clip my triangles, just like I did before, and mark anything that needs marked. What really needs marked on this particular pattern, after I had it all cut out, I would go back and mark these buttonholes. And again, I'm going to do that by sticking a pin in, leaning this over, marking the top, sticking the pin in, do this on the front and the back, marking the bottom. That way I know where that buttonhole goes. Now here is a terrific example of pleats and darts. The first thing I'm going to do when I do have a pleat or a dart is I'm going to clip this just like I would have clipped my triangle. I clip all the points that need to match up, clip the ends of my dart all the way across. Then what I'm going to do is take a bunch of pins and mark the ends of the darts, the important parts of the darts. On this, it's got here and here, here, and here. The dart, very bottom of the dart, here and here. Now, with that chalk, I'm going to go in, pull these pins out. It's all cut out. The top's marked. I'm going to fold this back, and I'm going to fold this plate. I'm going to mark that, and then I know where that clip is. You can see the little clip. Goes straight up to there, straight up to there. I have it drawn in. I'm going to mark it on this side as well, because I've got all those clips. So you mark it on both sides. And if you notice on a pleat, it tells you that this pleat is going to fold in this direction. That's what that little arrow is. It wants to take this and fold it to that. So you can do a little arrow. That's why I love chalk. Because you can do a little arrow. It's going to come right out. Now for a dart, what you're going to want to do is mark that very bottom of that dart with your chalk, both. With a dart, I actually like to get a ruler so I can make sure I get a nice place to sew. So I pull back that dart, find out where the top is, find out where the bottom is. Whoop. Draw it in. Draw it in. Now I know when I fold, I also have a line just to sew on. That is how you lay out a pattern. Now all you have to do is take it to the machine and sew it up.